Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. For this video, I'm gonna be doing something new and I'm going to be swatching some inks and not just any other ink. These are sepia inks. I have been recently obsessed with this color of inks lately because I'm a big fan of brown inks, and sepia is kind of like a different shade of brown that is very nostalgic, and I'm in a nostalgic mood lately. So I wanted to do a very particular ink swatching of 5 sepia inks that I have that you're seeing right here. Please pardon any ambient sound that you might hear because as I film this, it's actually Dragon Boat Festival here in Taiwan, and the festivities outside have been going on since yesterday all day. And because it's Dragon Boat weekend, the festivities are carrying on today, June 1st. Happy June, by the way. Yeah, so it's carrying on until June 1st. So please pardon any ambient sound that you may hear, fireworks, music, and stuff. So I will do my best to try to tone down those ambient sounds. But in the meantime, let's get right into it. So I wanted to first show you what the inks are. So I have the Atramentis Sepia Brown. Sepia Brown. So this is my very first and only the Atramentis ink so far. I'm trying not to accumulate too much ink bottles because I don't have a lot of space in my apartment, my tiny apartment. So I'm trying to curate the inks that I'm trying to collect. They're mostly brown. As I mentioned many times on this channel that I love brown inks, but this particular video we're focusing on sepia. So here I have Sepia Brown by the Atramentis. I also have Teranishi Guitars Traveling Sepia. I have the new Lamy Sepia ink as well. There's no other marking on a Lamy bottle anyway, but I've used this ink like for 2 weeks or a week or so, and I love it. Later on, I will show you the swatches and some writing samples. And very recently, I have acquired Diamine Sepia. And lastly, I have a sample ink of Rohrer Klinger's Sepia. So these are the inks that we're gonna swatch for today, and I also wanted to show you some of the stuff that I use for ink swatching. I have my ink journal. This is a handmade notebook made by my sister. Shout out to my sister. I'm not sure if she's watching, but if you are, thank you for this. This is a book that she made herself by hand. She bound this herself. The paper used here is Tomoe River paper. It's a cream colored kind of paper, and this is my ink swatch journal. So I have all of my inks swatched here. So I'm just going to show you later on how all of these 5 inks look like on this type of paper, the cream colored Tomoe River paper. But we will mostly be doing the swatching here on this writing pad, a Tomoe River paper, the Tomoegawa OG paper by Yamamoto. And I'm also wanting to show you guys my ink swatch cards because all of my inks are swatched here as well. So I'm going to show you what the inks are going to look like. These are swatch cards from Wearing Gold. So I'll show that to you guys later. And I have some of the pens that I've inked with at least 3 of these sepia inks. I'm going to be using this Sailor Hokoro dip nib in the medium nib. I also have my eyedropper and this plastic spoon that I will use to swatch the inks with. So let's get right into swatching. Let's start first with swatching the Atramentis Sepia Brown ink. Hopefully I won't make a huge mess here on my table. I've zoomed in the camera for you guys so you can see, hopefully see it. So I'm just gonna dip in my eyedropper and see how it swatches. Add in a few drops of ink here. All right, so I'm gonna take this plastic spoon and just smear the ink around. I love using this technique just to show how everything pulls in the paper right here. And I'm gonna take my dip pen, write a couple of words out here. Hopefully you'll be able to see. This is the Atramentis Sepia brown. It has some interesting color undertones. Well, brown is there. This is a medium nib, by the way. There are also some, what do you call this, like light red undertones. This is the first time I'm actually swatching it on the Tomoegawa paper. I have used this on, I think this swatch book made by my sister is also Tomoegawa because I have no problems with it. But this is really interesting. It's like more reddish than brown, if you can see it. Let me just hold up the paper a little bit closer to you guys so you can see. So it has like a muted reddish brown look. Later, I will show you how this ink performs on Sanzen, Tomoe River paper, because I've used this ink on my main planner for a week or so, and I actually like it. I inked it before with a Lamy Safari fine nib, but there you have it. Next up is Teranishi Guitars Traveling Sepia. This is also a recent acquisition of mine. I just thought about Teranishi also had sepia because I also purchased a Teranishi Nostalgic Honey ink bottle, and I love that ink, by the way. I know it's not sepia, but it has a sepia-ish vibe. Later on when we get to Diamine, you will see what I mean. So I'm gonna be swatching next the Teranishi Traveling Sepia ink. Why am I doing this? So let me just use my eyedropper first and we'll swatch it here on this paper. All right. Now this is a lot more brown than the Atramentis. Let's try to get some ink on that nib. Come on. All right, so this is Teranishi. Guitar. Traveling Sepia. All right. This is more brown than like yellowish or reddish kind of sepia. And I love that because I'm partial to brown. There you have it. It's still a little bit wet, but you can see the difference with the Atramentis. So it's more chocolate brown than the Atramentis, which is very interesting. I really like this color. Teranishi guitar inks I just recently discovered how utterly yummy their inks are. They're rich and vibrant colors, and they're quite reliable in some fine and even broader nibs that I've tried them on. The reason why I'm saying this is because I've had experience with the Nostalgic Honey color, which I am totally in love. I'm currently using it in my main planner, but I thought about also inking up the Traveling Sepia. Well, I've inked it up in one of the pens that I'll show you later. I thought to get the Traveling Sepia because of the really great experience that I had with Nostalgic Honey, and because I wanted to do this video about sepia colored inks. Definitely Teranishi is something that I will be using a lot more frequently. So will the Atramentis. I have used it before. So it's just nice to like have this kind of differences in sepia color. Right. So there you have it. All right, the next thing that we're swatching is the Lamy ink. I'm just gonna get it in my eyedropper again. You know, when I found out that Lamy was having this ink, this is actually one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video, because I wanted to get this ink so bad. I have seen it in other videos from other ink YouTubers, fountain pen users as well, and it looked really, really nice. And as you can see, it's actually really not quite the reddish, muted, rosy ink color of the Atramentis, but it's kind of like, it reminds me of Diamine's Ancient Copper. So let's just try to, oh, why did I cap it? Sorry about that. So let's just dip into the ink nib again, the dip nib. So this is Lamy Sepia. I'm sorry about the ambient sound. I hope it's not too much of a bother for you guys. Oh, wow. I love this color. It's really giving me ancient copper vibes. So there you have it. This is another shade of sepia that is kind of like if you cross the Atramentis and Teranishi, you'd get Lamy Sepia. But it's really a beautiful reddish brown color. If you are still on the fence about getting the Lamy Sepia, I suggest that you get it because it's really gorgeous. Well, I chose these inks because I really do love the color sepia. So there you have it. All right, the next thing that we are swatching is Diamine Sepia. You'll see that this is like different from all the other things that we've swatched so far. But it's a fun kind of color. There you go. Oh, wow. I love this. Love this so much. I have actually looked into Mountain of Ink, the website, for any recommendations on inks in particular. So if there's an ink that I really want to get, I usually go to Mountain of Ink to see whether she has tried it out and how her experience has been using these inks on different types of paper. And one of the things that she said about Diamine Sepia is that it's a really good, well-behaved ink, but it's too yellow for her. But I'm glad I still got it because look at that color. It's still wet right now, but when it dries, it's a different kind of sepia from the other inks that we have swatched so far, in a sense that it's gonna look like honey color. So let me just write this one first. Diamine Sepia. So you're gonna get an ink swatch video plus like cultural background ambience here. I'm just trying to not freak out and not overthink this because of the ambient sound that I know that you're hearing right now. But hopefully it's not too much of a bother. There you have it. So far, all of the inks have some shading properties, which I really love. So going back again to the Atramentis, you're seeing some darker shading here. Same as Traveling Sepia. It's like there's like black shading here. With Lamy Sepia, there's shading. Is it? I think there's a bit of shading here. I'm not sure. This tiny little thing, it may not be visible on the camera as you see it, but in person there's a little bit of shading. I may be wrong because it's just a tiny little thing. But when you look here at Diamine Sepia, if we can focus please camera, so it's like a dark honey color with some reddish brown shading. Last but not the least, I have here Rohrer Klingner Sepia. This is just a sample bottle that my sister gave me, so I don't own the bottle, she does. And she was generous enough to give me an ink sample. I don't know why I keep on capping stuff when I'm not yet done. So, wow. This looks like squid ink. You can tell I'm a little bit surprised. I have swatched this before, but it has been a while since I've used this ink. I've only swatched it, not really used it. This is so different from all of the other sepias that we have seen so far. Let me just dip nib into here. See how it writes. Yay! Happy Dragon Boat! Happy Dragon Boat, everyone, even if you're not celebrating. Let me just, come on. I'm trying to get the ink to flow into the dip nib. So this is Rohrer Klingner. And Klinger. Sepia. Wow, it's more black. Oh my gosh, I'm not sure if you're seeing it, but there's a little bit of sheen. Oh my god, this is a huge discovery for me. As I mentioned, I've only ever swatched this, not really put it in the pen, so I don't even know how it performs. It's so amazing that there's some gold sheen on it. Is it? Yeah. Look at it. Come on, camera, please focus. I'm not sure if you are seeing it. I hope you are. There you go. Is it visible? Maybe the lighting isn't really doing it just... There you go. See that? It's like... Is it gold? I am really having some color blinded vibes going on here, but it's definitely yellowish. I'm not sure if it's gold or like honey or whatever, but this is like a really welcome surprise, I guess. So there you have it. We're just gonna wait for these inks to dry. Let me just zoom out. Come on, zoom out. So you guys can see all of the 5 inks. There you go. There you go. So these are my 5 sepia inks. All right, these are the ink swatch cards from Wearingeul that I have swatched the inks on. So this is more of like much thicker cardstock-ish paper. Maybe this is like, I don't know, 200 GSM. But you can see how different the inks look yellowish, as Mountain of Ink has mentioned. But I like it. This is like giving me 50s, 60s vibes, like old photographs kind of look and feel. But all of these other things, other inks are really very interesting to me with their shading properties. I first swatched this R&K ink many years ago, like maybe 2 years ago. And initially it didn't really strike me as interesting. But now that I have swatched it up on the Tomoe River paper, the Tomoegawa version, it's actually really interesting. I thought it was just a light black or grayish, brownish gray ink color, but it's actually really interesting on Tomoe River paper. So that's a new discovery. But all of these 4 inks I was really using, except the one that I recently got, which is Traveling Sepia. I have been using Diamine Sepia very recently since I got it like 2 days ago, I think. Yeah, 2 days ago. And I love it. So this is how the inks look like swatched on the ink swatch card. So now I'm gonna show you how the ink looks like on another Tomoe River paper, but this is Sanzen. This is my Al paper planner journal. This is my main planner. It has 52 GSM TRP Sanzen. And again, let me just put it out there that this planner, despite having the 2025 Sanzen paper, is consistently performing really well as a main planner using just fountain pen inks, because since I started using this in January, I've only been using fountain pen inks, except for 1 week wherein I tried to use the new Uniball Zento. These are gel inks, but the rest of the pages are all on fountain pen inks. And let me just tell you, this is like really, really great, consistent paper. TRP Sanzen, surprisingly very good. This is what Lamy Sepia looks like on this kind of paper. It's white TRP Sanzen. So far, it looks really great. Let me put it against the Tomoegawa TRP that you're seeing here. So it's kind of like, there's a slight difference that I'm seeing here. But in terms of the vibrance of the color, it's like really good. And let me just show you what this is. Nostalgic. No, this is Nostalgic Honey. Where is Sepia? So I'm using this Il Mili notebook as a supplement for my main planner because I'm running out of pages for June. So this is Diamine Sepia. This is Inkto na Kakuno Medium. And this is Teranishi Guitar Traveling Sepia. So both inks are used on this page and they're really great. So this is Teranishi Guitar Traveling Sepia. This is also Teranishi Guitar Nostalgic Honey. Happy Dragon Boat. And this is Diamine Sepia. Yes. And this is on a medium. This is a Sailor. Is it? Yes, a Sailor. This is Fine. And this is a medium. Sorry about that, guys. So let's take a look at the writing. So there you go. So I just wanted to put Nostalgic Honey side by side Diamine Sepia. Although these are completely different nib sizes, you can see that Nostalgic Honey is definitely a lot yellower than Diamine Sepia. So yeah, I love that you can actually see the shading property of Diamine Sepia, and also with this medium Kakuno for the traveling sepia. So there you have it. Is there any other pen? Yep, these are the pens that I have inked with most of, at least 2 of the sepia inks that I have. So there you have it. I think that's pretty much it. I hope that you enjoyed this ink swatch thing. This is my very first ink swatch video. Last thing before I let you guys go. So the inks have dried actually. So let's take a look. Let's just zoom out a little bit so that you can see all 5 inks all together. They've all dried up. They're all kind of like different hues of sepia. I'm really pleasantly surprised with this R&K sepia color. Not really the sepia that I was expecting, but the properties, the shading property is really interesting to me. Not only does it have like a dark brown attribute, it also has like a dark, like a almost black shading, and there is like an undertone of, I'm not sure if it's like honey color, but there is something underneath that dark color that is not just, you know, the sepia that we've been seeing, at least like in traveling sepia. There is like a yellowish undertone, maybe a honey kind of color ink, but I'm not sure if it's picking up by the camera, but it's there. And all of these 5 inks are really interesting to me. I really love the nostalgic feel of the sepia color inks, and the fact that these ink brands are really performing very well. I love all of them. So I've used all 4 of them. Maybe in the very near future, I will use R&K. I've, you know, never really inked up like blackish inks because it's not my thing, but it's sepia. So let's just say that I will be using it very soon in one of my fountain pens. So I want to thank you guys again for joining me in my very first ink related video. And I hope that you enjoyed this video with me swatching my 5 sepia inks. And if you'd like to see more content from me, please feel free to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them out on the comments section, and I will see you in the next video.